Well, hello! Day three on my awesome journey of health and well-being. It's been an amazing experience. Like learning all these new things. Learning is so much fun. Oh my gosh! And sometimes when you think you know things, you might know some of it, but you don't know all of it. And that's what I'm finding out. So a lot of the things that I'm learning right now, I kind of knew already. However, it's really just been kind of explained in a whole different way. I'm learning why I don't want to eat these things or why eating these things at this time is not a good idea. Things that I just never even knew. Like I knew that sugar wasn't good for you. I knew that. I knew um, that white refined flour and things like that weren't good for you. I knew that too much fat was not good for you, but I didn't really understand the mechanics of how it's all working in your body and why, and what is actually going on with your body when you're eating these things. So as I'm diving deeper into a better understanding of what's going on with my own body, and all of our bodies are different, I felt like, wow, this is such a really incredible experience, and I wanted to be able to share it with all of you, right? Because maybe you're having some challenges too. I mean, my goodness, our health is so important, and it's not that I'm feeling really bad or anything like that, or like I wouldn't say I'm in an investigative state right now, right? Hi, Lisa, and I'm now researching. I'm learning things, about my body that I didn't know before. And what was really helpful for me was a few months ago, I had some tests done to kind of find out exactly, like what my physical condition was, because I really didn't know. So I had a hair analysis done that kind of let me know what my mineral content was and how the heavy metals and whatnot might be being held in my body. That was very, very um, eye opening. And then I also did a food sensitivities test, a very extensive one. It kind of gave me an idea of things that I need to avoid. So I have my own personal list of things to avoid. However, I'm going to share with you a list of things that most people should avoid. In fact, anyone who's looking to really help themselves live a really healthy and happy life, these are probably foods that you would want to avoid too. Right? Those are the things I'll be sharing later. Now, my list of things to avoid are particular to me and my situation, my condition. And so then when I got this list back of things that I needed to refrain from eating for a period of time, I was like, oh my gosh, what's there going to be left to eat? And the truth of it is, there's a lot left to eat. There's so much good food out there, so much good, yummy, delicious food. You know, we've just kind of trained ourselves, and I wasn't. I mean, I guess maybe my Achilles heel was chocolate. Right? I love chocolate. I kind of I kind of like chocolate kind of candies and things like that. I would get maybe these peanut butter cups, and I would just like go through like these little phases. And anyhow, chocolate chocolate is okay. However, when I eat the chocolate is the most important thing, right? Eating chocolate on an empty stomach or eating chocolate after I haven't eaten anything for a period of time is not a good idea. As well as eating anything sugary by itself is not a good idea. You know, if you're going to eat something sugary, like even an orange, eating an orange, like I always thought that, wow, I could just have it. Like if I got hungry in the afternoon, I could just snack on an orange real quick. Well, even by doing that, by snacking on an orange, I was actually shooting my glucose, my sugar, up straight up in my body because I was basically like eating this fruit that has so much sugar in it. And I didn't even realize that there's a time to eat those. There's a time to consume things that have a lot of sugar or like a little, like a better sweet, like chocolates and whatnot. And of course, you can get cacao, 70%, 85%, 90%. cacao candy bars and things like that, and they taste a little different because they don't have like the milk in there, and they kind of like have a little bit darker and bitter taste. But it's actually more attuned to the real flavor of cacao, right? Without all the sugars and all the cream and all the things that are added to this beautiful essence, this chocolate essence. When you actually like taste cacao and without any sugar or cream, it is really a beautiful tasting drink, and it's very different because it just doesn't have all the sugar in it. So, like, I'm readjusting my taste buds right now, and I'm learning how to like drink my coffee without any sugar. I never thought I would do that ever in a million years, right? But I realized that the coffee creamer that I was using for my coffee was full of sugar and chemicals. And because I love to drink coffee in the morning, I was having quite a dose of sugar and chemicals first thing in the morning. That was the first thing that I was putting into my stomach. Well, that's not a good idea, right? However, Dr. Mindy showed me that I could have coffee in the morning, and I could actually have MCT oil, coconut oil, in my coffee, and a little bit of cream. No sugar, but just that little bit of oil, that little MCT oil, and a little bit of cream made all the difference. Now, of course, it wasn't sweet, but it did have a nice flavor. And the important thing about the MCT oil is that there's something in the oil that goes up into the brain and that shuts off the hormone in the brain that has you feeling hungry. I didn't know that. I didn't understand that. But I learned this from Dr. Mindy. I'm watching her videos, and like I could actually drink coffee without cream. Hi, Deborah. Hello, Debbie. So good to see you. So good to see you there. And let's see, who is this? Brooklyn girl. Hello. Welcome. So happy that you're here. And so I've been drinking my coffee now every day without any sugar. And it's been a different experience. But what I do know is that it doesn't give me the same feeling, like that sweet flavor and that sweetness in the morning. It doesn't give me that same feeling. It gives me a different feeling. It gives me the feeling like, wow, I'm doing something really good for myself. I'm really taking care of myself. So I'm using organic half and half and MCT oil, and then my decaffeinated organic coffee. Because the caffeine's kind of crazy too. But just learning that I could have coffee and not have sugar in it it just changed my everything in the morning. And so I'm not saying that I don't miss that sweet flavor in the morning in my coffee. I'm not going to say that I don't miss it because I do. However, I'm choosing something better. I'm choosing something that is healthier for me, and that's going to benefit my body in the long run. Right? So, so the time to actually like eat like sweets and things like that are after your meal. Dessert is placed precisely where it needs to be. So tonight, after Bob and I had our dinner, we had this little bitty piece of chocolate. It was just a little bitty piece of chocolate, and that was our sweet. It would also be a great time to have an orange or to have something else that has a little bit of a sugar content in it so that, you're not spiking your blood sugar. That's what you want to avoid, is spiking that blood sugar, because when you do that, all kinds of chemical reactions happen in your body, right? Your mood swings, all kinds of things happen. Your blood rushes a little bit, your adrenaline, and it causes a whole chain of events to happen inside of your body that basically bring about stress. And stress is something we absolutely want to avoid. Whoa, we want to avoid it so much, right? Stress can show up in all kinds of ways. And sometimes when we get stressed, we actually go for those sugary sweet foods. or we go and get our gallon of ice cream out of the refrigerator and just get a spoon and go at it. And these are not the best times to be digesting sugary foods. You want to have your sugary food, the high glucose foods, after you've had like a meal, or another recommendation was to drink a little bit of apple cider vinegar, like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in 8 ounces of water. And this does something that like coats the digestive tract, so that as the glucose is being received into the body, it doesn't have such a direct hit into the bloodstream, right? Because that's what we really want to avoid, is those spikes, because the spikes can just lead to all kinds of problems with our body, and also our ability to, if we keep doing that to our body, it'll affect our ability to restore our health in the future. So it's really important stuff that I'm sharing with you. So I've got this book here. I told you I got Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Pell. And I wanted to read out of the book some of the things that she recommends that you absolutely avoid. So she says, partially hydrogenated oils. I don't know why I can't say that word right now, but I'm not going to even try to say it again. I'm just going to leave it like that. But anything that's any kind of oil that's been hydrogenated. There we go. Partially hydrogenated oils. So you can see it on your labels. She also says avoid corn oil, cottonseed oil. She says cottonseed oil is the cheapest oil that you can possibly find, and it's probably the most chemically infused doused crop because it's cotton, right? So they put all kinds of chemicals and pesticides and things on that crop, and she says it wreaks havoc on the body. Canola oil. Canola oil is in so many things. I mean, start reading your labels. Vegetable oil, even vegetable oil, soybean oil, safflower oil, and sunflower oil. She says absolutely avoid these oils, right? So that leaves you with the four good oils. You have olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, and then grass-fed organic ghee, right? Or it could be butter, but grass-fed butter or ghee, right? So those are the good ones. Those are the ones that you can use. And actually, we've been using avocado oil and olive oil for a long time now. We've been staying away from canola oil. We were aware that this wasn't good for your body. She says also you're going to want to avoid these refined sugars and flours. And these foods are higher on the glycemic index and will put you on an up and down sugar roller coaster that can make fasting harder. Oh, and she talks a lot about fasting, right? As a way to not only maintain health, but also to restore health. So if you're just looking to be healthy and not get sick, intermittent fasting can help with that. If you've got maybe some health issues and you think that fasting might be able to help you, it's possible that it could as well. So she says, any kind of bread or pastas. How many times have you sat down and had like a bowl of spaghetti? And you're just spiking your sugar just like that. One way that you can avoid that is to have a salad. So this is where some of these things that we've been taught are actually working for us, like salad first, then your main entree, and then your sweet, right? So salad, if you eat the salad first, it kind of coats down the digestive tract, and it allows an extra layer. It helps the microbiome in the gut, and it allows an extra layer of protection for when you do put in these refined sugars and flours like pasta, right? Crackers, any kind of crackers, desserts. You might want to, and just kind of be looking at this. And like I said, we had for our dessert, it was a little bitty 1-inch square of chocolate. So it wasn't a lot, but we did want to absolutely be able to enjoy and give ourselves the pleasure of enjoying a little sweet after our meal. And then she also has a list here of common synthetic ingredients to avoid. Avoid artificial colors and flavorings. And I would say avoid natural flavorings too, because it's found that the only thing that is required for it to be considered a natural flavor is its point of origin has to be a natural thing, like a plant or an animal, something out of nature. That's the only requirement. From that point on, they can do anything to that natural specimen that they want to. And they sometimes natural flavors will have 100 different chemical processes that are put onto this natural product, right? So we want to know those things, and it's a really sly way of food manufacturers being able to hide their processes or what they're actually putting into the food under these blanket umbrella titles such as artificial flavorings or natural flavorings. In the United States, they don't have to write out exactly what all that is inside of a natural or artificial flavor. In Europe, they don't it's not that they don't allow you to do that, but if you're going to use natural flavors or artificial flavors, you have to list everything on the ingredients. Everything has to be known to the consumer, and we don't have, unfortunately, in the United States, we don't have that luxury of knowing what is actually meant by natural flavors or artificial flavors. So your best bet is just to stay away from them. And natural flavor, I'll say it again because I couldn't believe it, is the fourth most common food ingredient in processed food in the United States. The fourth. So it's in just about everything, folks. She says avoid red or blue dyes. So like your red velvet cake. No, I love red velvet cake, but that's just a memory. How about saccharin? All these artificial sweeteners, NutraSweet, Splenda, right? All these things are not good for you, right? These are chemical compounds. These are synthetic compounds, synthetic processes, and they are definitely sabotaging your health journey for sure. So so pay attention to labels. Bob and I have gone shopping recently, and we found that we're spending a lot less money. And because there's a lot of food that will look at the ingredients, things that we've bought in the past over and over again. But this time we're actually like reading the ingredients, and now our list for things to avoid, pardon me, has even gotten greater. So we find that we're putting things back, and we're like, okay, well, there was some gluten free pumpkin spice muffins. And so I was looking at this and I said, okay, so we know that this has a lot of sugar in it, a lot of, you know, a lot of, a lot of things that aren't really good for us, right? And it's delicious. So we went ahead and we decided that we were going to buy that, but we have an agreement. Each one of those muffins, we're going to cut it in half and we'll have that at the end of one of our meals. So we're still giving ourselves the the treat. However, we're putting it at the end of the meal so we don't get the glucose spike, and we're also portioning it out very carefully so that we're making sure that we're not overeating those things. You know. However, I think that it's important to like maybe there might be some things that you will make an exception on, but for the most part, we're saying no to all of those things now. Right? So now that you know some of the lists of foods to avoid, and if you go and you check out Mindy's YouTube channel, she will tell you there's so many things on there. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just a wealth of information. I can go in there and listen to 2 or 3 videos every day and learn something new. But here she has these are the foods that you want to add to your diet. These help you, right? So maybe this might be new information for you. olive oil. We already talked about that. Avocado oil, MCT oil, flaxseed oil, pumpkin seed oil, grass-fed butter, nut butters, olives, and avocado. Avocado has a lot of really good fat in it for you, right? So it's important that we get fat as well. I know there's a lot of fat-free things out there. I was listening to her today, and she says, stay away from fat-free foods. Stay away from any kind of diet food. She says, like, if it says like diet food or diet soda, I don't know if you're drinking any of that, but she says, really just stay away from that. It's not good for you, and it's really wreaking havoc on your health. And so find other things that you can drink that you like. Um, and I find that for Bob and I, we have a lot of herbal teas that we drink. We also have a one of those carbonators, you know, that you can put your water in it and then you put it underneath this little spigot and it carbonates the water. And then we infuse it with our own flavors, like our own little juices and stuff. So it doesn't have really a lot of sugar or anything like that in it, but it has like the essence of maybe some pineapple or some orange or something like that. And we'll just kind of infuse our sparkling water with some fruit essences. You know, let me look in here. See. Oh, my friend Vasiliki is here. I love you, Vasiliki. Let's see. Let me see. And then Debbie is here. Of course, Lisa. Let me see. Is there anything? I switched to coconut sugar in my coffee. Yeah. Coconut sugar. I also heard somebody made popcorn, like kettle corn popcorn, and they used coconut oil and coconut sugar for their popcorn. You know. So let's see. I want to make sure. Oh, hi, Marlene. Perfect timing. You needed to hear this. Great. That's wonderful. Let's see. Make sure. I want to see if I don't want to miss any of your comments. Pardon me. I'm having to kind of squint my eyes a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Get rid of the soda if you can. I know my mother was addicted to Diet Coke for the longest time, and finally her doctor finally got her to get off of it. And so she's drinking tea now, which is better for her. You know, but the chemicals that they put in our drinks and things like that are not good for us. And even the artificial sweeteners can still spike our glucose. Even though it's not like actual like sugar, it can actually be worse for us than sugar. So pay attention to those things, you know. And then they're talking about healthy proteins, or Mindy's talking about healthy proteins to add, and she says grass-fed beef. So we're, you know, when we're looking to purchase beef or anything like that, grass fed, you know, when you want to go with grass fed, pasture raised um, beef. She has bison in here, turkey, chicken. Of course, these are all really good protein builders. I don't pork. She's got pork written in here, and that's for you to decide. Yeah. And then eggs, you know, I like eggs. I think eggs are good. Eggs, you can get protein from eggs. And then she says like charcuterie board meats like salami and prosciutto, I guess, are really good healthy proteins to add. Oops. So so these are just some things to consider in your diet, you know, as you're looking to do this. And I would really encourage you, especially if you're having like a health challenge and you're a female, go check out Dr. Mindy and maybe listen to some of her stuff. And then there's another, you know, there's so much to learn about all of this. I mean, we're going to have a good time. As I'm learning, I'll be sharing with you. But there's also like, for those of you that are still cycling, still having your womanly cycle, there's certain foods that you want to eat before you cycle, based off of what's happening in your hormones. Now, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to it because I'm not cycling anymore, so it's not relevant information for me, but I did take note. And then after your cycle, there's different foods that you need to be eating to help your body. So what I'm learning more than anything is that we have the power to really transform our bodies. This knowledge, and it's not hard stuff, and it's things that we have that are available to us. It's in our food. We can transform our bodies with the food that we eat. I think it was Socrates who said that food was our medicine. And it really is. It's what we're putting into our mouth internally. It's what we're digesting, ingesting to nurture and um, to strengthen our bodies. And so we should really think about this. And I know some of you, and I would really encourage you as much as you can, buy organic because it has less pesticides and chemicals, and it's going to be more helpful to you as far as like your chemical toxic overload. So and I would say some people say, well, organic is so expensive. Find places where it's not. Learn how to grow your own garden. Learn how to grow your if you feel like organic food is too expensive, learn how to grow your own food. Because you wouldn't put Roundup on your tomatoes. I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't spray poison on your tomatoes. You just wouldn't do that, right? You wouldn't do that. You would care for those plants. You would love those plants. You would make sure that they had everything that they needed. And so when you're looking at spending money on your food, remember that you're spending money on your temple. That this is your holy, divine, sacred temple, and that you deserve it, and that you're worthy of having good quality food to eat. And yes, it may be a little bit more expensive, but you know what's really expensive? You know what's really expensive? Hospital bills. Sickness is really expensive. It doesn't only cost money, it costs time, it costs energy, it costs a lot. Sickness costs a lot, you know. So if you're at that place where you're not, you're okay, great. You can incorporate some of these things. It'll be definitely an easier ride for you because you're just maintaining your health. But for those that are having health challenges, like I have an autoimmune disorder that I've been diagnosed with, that I'm looking at as far as helping me understand what's going on with my body or why my thyroid is um, is reacting this way, right? What's happening with the hormones in my body. And oh yeah, I'll get to talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to see my chiropractor tomorrow, and I got my Dutch test back. And that's going to be the test about all of my hormones and my cortisol and what's happening with my body, right? I was talking to you about having some hair loss and things like that. So this is going to be a really, really amazing conversation for me. I won't be going on until later because I want you to be able to, I want to be able to share with you my results and what my chiropractor told me so that I can share that with you. I also think that, I know it's kind of late right now, but I guess maybe this might be a pretty good time because I see that there's a lot of you here today. So that's good. I was told Bob I was going to play with the time a little bit to see when it would be the best for people. But do you think, put in the chat if you think that, I mean, this might be a little late for some of you, but if this is a good time, like right now it's 9 o'clock in St. Louis. So it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, it's 7 o'clock on the West Coast. That's Leaky. I don't know what time it is there for you, but it might be really early in the morning for you, Vassal Leaky. I don't know, but I just know that you're here and I love that. Oh, great. Debbie ordered the book. Fantastic. I think it was like $15 on Amazon. There you go. Debbie's waiting on all of her tests to come back for her diagnosis. Yeah, that's what I was doing too. I was waiting to find out what we were able to find, and then how to move forward from there. I am not, and I'll just be really honest with you, I am a person that believes in my body's own intelligence to heal itself. So I listen to this before I listen to anybody else. Anybody else. And like I do a really good job of taking care of myself. And if I ever had to go to the hospital or anything like that, I would go. However, I would still have a lot of control over what was going to be done with my body, you know, because I definitely would want to make sure that my own personal interests were being voiced and my desires were being fulfilled for sure, right? Because I am not on any medications. I don't take anything. I take some um things from my chiropractor for like my thyroid and some uh like uh supplements for like balancing and some things like that. In fact, maybe I'll bring those with me tomorrow and I'll share them with you. Although you're not able to get them anywhere, because my sister was like, "Where can I get those?" And I found out that you can only get it through like a health professional, like a chiropractor. But he's given me like some vitamins and some minerals and some things like that that have been helpful. But those the only things that I'm taking. Um, and I'm definitely, you know, I was diagnosed with something with my thyroid years and probably 20 years ago, and I refused to get on any kind of medication. I just refused because I didn't want to be attached to something for the rest of my life. You know, that's just me. I'm just letting you know where I'm coming from. So I'm just kind of stubborn in that area. I had all of my children at home. I had four babies and I had them all at home. And I had my first one when I was 18 years old. So I've been like kind of a staunch, natural healing, natural, you know, just trusting that all of this knows. And of course, this isn't anything different from anything that I always talk about, right? Like I tell you, you got all the answers; they're all inside of you, right? Sometimes we need some outside information to help us, right? Such as like blood work and things like that. But like really, we just go inside and we ask the bigger questions, right? Um, and so it's really an awesome experience to be able to share my journey with you. I love it so much, and I love that you're finding this all to be very very helpful. You know, and so um, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. I'll be checking in with you again tomorrow. Wait, did anybody say that this is a good time? Is this a good time? Do we know? Well, tomorrow will definitely be later on in the afternoon. Absolutely in early evening. So you can look forward to me coming on again tomorrow to share with you my test results from Dr. Fazio, and we'll see where we go from there. All right. I hope that this was helpful for you. Oh, let me report some of my recordings today. All right. Yay! Because I'm keeping track of all this stuff. All right. Here's my list for today. So today, Monday, I woke up at 7:30 a.m. I was kind of up late last night. My weight came in at 130 pounds. So I'm right where I was yesterday. I'm not necessarily trying to lose weight. I just want to let you know that I'm really looking to reset my entire body and to try to figure out what's going on with my hormones and my thyroid. My glucose, I did the glucose testing. Remember, I said I was going to do it in the morning and then right before my meal just to make sure. So I did my glucose testing at 9:47 a.m. and it was at 93. And Mindy wants it to be anywhere between 70 and 90. So I was still a little high, just a little high. This morning I did have coffee, cream, and the MCT oil. I had 2 cups of that. Later on, I went the whole day, the whole morning and the afternoon without eating anything. I was so busy all day today. That's one another reason why I'm coming in late tonight. And I was finally able to eat something at 4 o'clock. I was finally able to break my fast at 4. So what that means is I actually did a 20-hour fast. So I was not eating anything for 20 hours. Yay! And my blood glucose showed that when I went and I did my blood test before I ate, it was down to 73. It was the first time that it's ever been within range. So it does work, right? So after 20 hours of being in a fasted state, my blood sugar went down to 73, which was right inside of that perfect zone. So those are my my numbers today. I'm really excited about that, and I'm just trying new things, trying some different things. And maybe for those of you that weren't here yesterday, if you want to know about monitoring your blood glucose, this is the system that Bob and I got. It's easy. It's like $20 on Amazon. It's easy to use, very very simple. Not a lot of bells and whistles. We didn't need to connect to our computer and print out reports and all that stuff because some people are diabetics, contour neck. Some people are diabetics and they have to, bring this information into their health professional or whatever. We don't have to do that. So that was just a simple, easy, inexpensive way for us to test our blood sugar. And so far, it's working. And it doesn't really even hurt. It's very interesting. I know, right? Anyhow, all right. Well, I think I've done a great job so far today. All right, here's my book, Fast Like a Girl, Dr. Mindy Pale. And then this is the one that I personally am working out of right now, the Menopause Reset, because this is really talking a lot about my hormones. It just depends on where you're at in your journey. But she's got some really just great information, and I'm really happy to be sharing it with all of you here. Oh my gosh, I went a really long time. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so much. And I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Day 4, my big reveal. All right, we'll see you then. Aloha. I love you. Bye bye.